All right. All right, all right, all right. It is 1:31, and you're tuned into Heart Connections with your heart coach, Adelai Brown, on your community station with international inspiration, kinetichifi.com. It is time for Heart Talk. This is the talk portion of our show. This is where we come and renew our minds and restore our hearts. This is the core of our show. We have great music and great segments. I'm really learning how the show is morphing and growing. We're still learning. We're still a baby in this. We're babies in this, but it's great. And this is why I'm here. Heart Talk. This segment is brought to you by my new book and the Mother's Day brunch to sponsor. That's to debut the new book that helps save me Mother's Day brunch, and you can check it out at theheartconnections.com and also pre-order your copy of the new book that will be released next month, May 2018. All right, now we've been talking about thinking about what you're thinking about is Think About It Tuesday. If you want to catch me live, you can catch me live in my Facebook group, Heart Support Group, or you can catch me on YouTube at bit.ly/Heart Connections, bit.ly/Heart Connections. We've been thinking about what we think about. And we realize that as a man thinketh, so is he. So we have to be very careful when we think about what we're thinking about on a day to day basis. We've talked about what we think about in relationships, why some of us struggle with our wives and husbands or our significant others, our siblings and our parents, because many of us have a certain worldview. We have a certain foundation of the way that we think, and that foundation, that framework, that structure holds up the lives that we live. And that took us into talking about what a worldview really is. And it's the comprehensive conception of the world around you. So how you view the world from your standpoint, that affects how you live your life. And we talked about how that affects racism and prejudice. It affects our personal view, our self-esteem, and things of that nature. But during our Diamond of the Rough segment that we just did, Diamond in the Rough, and that's a time where we'll be uplifting and supporting. I'll be introducing you guys to different things that have uplifted me, and I want to encourage you. We learned about how love liberates. And that's what I want to talk about in this last segment, to remind you that love liberates. I want to dispel a few myths. First, love does not hurt. Love does not hurt. If the love that you think you're in is hurting, you have to think about what you're thinking about, because that's not love. Now, you may go through some things and be hurt while you're loving someone, but it's not love that's hurting you. It is all of the things that are trying to come against that love in your life, because God is love and he does not hurt you. There are things that are allowed to happen at times, but God Himself, God, the Spirit, God, the great I am, does not hurt you. Love liberates. We heard the Dr. Maya Angelou clip. If you do not know who Dr. Maya Angelou is, I encourage you to go on YouTube. She reminds me so much of my grandmother and my grandaunt. She's like that Medea figure that many of us have in our lives. And she was talking about how she took care of her mother until her dying day, and how her mother was not a good mother of young, small children. She was not well at taking care of them. But when they got older and they were teenagers and young adults, she was a great mother. And she was saying how love liberates, and how her mother did not die until she told her, it was okay. You could go. She told her, it's okay. You can go. And she passed away. She slipped from one dimension to another. When we think about what we're thinking about, I want you to understand that your thoughts and your the way you think, what you think, why you think them, those things can either liberate you or keep you in slavery. And when we think about what we're thinking about, a lot of times we're doing it on a very intellectual level. The ego is so involved. It's all about me, I. But when you think about love and how it liberates, You're going to have to start thinking on a level. You're going to have to start thinking a level above me. And you're going to have to think on a level of service. When you serve others and you give to others, it literally liberates you. It sets you free. And your mind needs to shift to a space of service, not a space of service so that you can continue to cater to other people and leave yourself out. No, but I'm talking about a healthy way that you can allow love to liberate you, because you need to be liberated in your mind. You need to be liberated in your heart, your emotions, the way you react to things. Your relationships need to be liberated. Your finances need to be liberated. The way you see yourself in the world, all of that needs to be liberated. And the only way we can get that liberated, and liberation is to liberate, is to set someone free from a situation, especially a situation of imprisonment or slavery. And these things will all be liberated by love. When you open your heart and your mind to receive the love of Christ, it will begin to change the way you are thinking. But you have to be willing to realistically apply this love in your life. You're going to have to apply love to those nasty, icky, embarrassing, shameful areas that you don't tell everybody about, but you know you're dealing with. And those secret struggles are starting to be a public problem. Remember, love liberates. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. God was thinking of you. He had you in mind. He gave his son so that you did not have to perish, but have life everlasting. That's something, that's a shift in mindset. From perishing, from death to life, that's a shift in the way that you're thinking. And many of us are thinking death in our relationships. We're thinking death when we leave the doctor's office. We're thinking death when we go to the bank. We're thinking death when we're going home to cook dinner. And we wonder why we live and experience that every day. Love liberates. Put yourself in a position to be loved and to love on. Put yourself in a position to set free, to be set free. Don't stay there. Love is an action word. Yeah, it's a noun, but it's a verb too. And when you love someone, when you love yourself, it will be evident in the thoughts that you think. The thoughts that you think are evident in the actions that you take. Remember, your behavior is only the iceberg, is only the tip of the iceberg of your worldview. You need to think about what you're thinking about. What were the common themes that were spoken about at your family functions or at the dinner table when you were growing up? What were people constantly saying and doing? What type of stereotypes were constantly being placed into your psyche as you were coming up? Women are like this, men are like that, Black people are like this, white people are like that, rich people are like this, poor people are like that. Love liberates. See, the problem is many of us are not walking around with shackles and chains on our arms. So we think we don't need to be free. But the truth of the matter is, if you're not thinking about what you're thinking about, you are a slave to what you're thinking about, and you need to be liberated. If not, your life will stay bound up. Your relationships will stay bound up. Your finances will stay bound up. The way you feel about yourself will stay bound up. I don't care how much you go to church and jump around. I don't care how much money you make. I don't care if you have so many degrees that you have an alphabet behind your name. You will not have any type of freedom until you start thinking about what you're thinking about. I'm tired of meeting these people. I'm so and so, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. Okay, all right, but your spirit is nasty and you're mean. And what good is the A, B, C, D, E, F, G going to do if people can't even stand to be around you because you're so nasty? And why are you nasty? Because you're not thinking about what you're thinking about. Love liberates. Those letters behind your name aren't going to feed me when I'm hungry. Those letters behind your name are not going to hold me and console me when I'm down and I need love and affection. And it's not going to do it for you either. And I have no problem with people further in their education. Shout out to everybody that's doing it. I think it's awesome. I'm going back to school soon because there's some things I need to learn. But I don't find my value in that. There was a time that I did. Thank God I started thinking about what I was thinking about. And I want to encourage you to do the same thing. Allow love to liberate you. You're like, what kind of love? My mom don't love me. My dad don't love me. I'm going through a divorce. Jesus loves you. I can promise you he does. He died for you. He cares for you. He said, I'm a hope to the hopeless, friend to the friendless, mother to the motherless, father to the fatherless. That touched me in a special way when I first started reading my Bible. It forced me to start thinking a little different, that I could even dare to believe that he had this type of perfect love. And guess what, guys? It liberated me. And I want the same for you. So think about what you're thinking about and make sure you stay here and think about it because I love you. We're going to finish up here. This has been Heart Talk with your heart coach, Adelai Brown. Make sure you pre-order your copy of Help Save Me from My Broken Heart at theheartconnections.com and register for the Help Save Me Mother's Day brunch. It's going to be awesome. Beautiful downtown Charleston. You don't want to miss it. Allow love to liberate you. What are you thinking about? All I do is think about you. Right here with Stevie Wonder, KineticHiFi.com. We'll be back to close out after this. But just listen to what he's saying. Think about the right things. Think about how this love is going to liberate you. I love you. Here.